If you've watched my other videos, you probably have come across some of my trap builds and tests. One of them particularly focuses on how to kill the radiated feral cops consistently without necessarily using turrets of any kind. It can be a bit of a challenge, but I came up with a trap which uses multiple types of traps and would kill even radiated feral cops every time without causing them to explode. Today we'll be building a variant of this which is suitable for an entry corridor to your base. It's got the blade trap, the dart trap, the electric fence, and can be augmented with steel spikes for flooring as needed as well. For good measure, we'll put in a looting chamber so that you can grab all that awesome loot. Alright, so here we are on a flat patch of land. As you can see, it's basically a 5 wide build on the surface. It is a few more blocks beneath. It does require some clearing, so I hope you bring an auger because shoveling this is going to take quite a while. But let's skip ahead here a little bit to not waste too much time. And now that we've cleared out the area, we're just going to put in some reinforced concrete as the flooring. Most of the area doesn't really have to be reinforced concrete, but it's just easier when I build. We're also going to be clearing a little bit in the back because this is where the blade trap itself is going to end up sitting. So we're going to make basically 1 high and 3 wide area. And let me see if I can get a blade trap here. Alright. So the blade trap is going to do the majority of the damage. So it's going to basically be placed here and it basically will hit any mob within the 3 blocks straight ahead of it. So let's just clear out and build around it as well to protect it. Now we have the basic shape created. We're going to put in some pillars here and that's just going to help you to do your looting as well. You can use any block you want for this. I end up changing this a bit later on because it has some problems with using the pillars themselves that you'll see. On the sides, I also decided to put in some of these arrow slits. They're not strictly necessary, but it helps to protect the dart traps that end up being placed behind them. The dart traps now do have a fair bit of hit points, but again, I just like to provide some extra protection. And let's just fill up with the pillars here. Now on the side, I'm going to be clearing up because we need a little bit of space for the dart traps and the electric fence and tripwire. So let's place down the dart traps here on the left side and let's do the same on the right side. You basically want to have 2 dart traps on each side and they'll be firing towards each other. The dart traps do provide a fair bit of damage to the zombies as they fall down to this kill hole. The next step we're going to be taking is to place the electric fence posts. You're going to see I'm placing them here 1 below. Because these fences are 1.5 tall, placing them 1 below means that they will be roughly knee-high for the zombies, so they will take crawlers as well as wolves and dogs, etc. Let's give it a little bit more space here and let's place down the tripwire right behind the electric fence post. And let's do that on the left side as well. Let's load up the dart traps and I'm just filling it up with 500. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're keeping these ones full. If they run out, the only damage that's going to be dealt is going to be the electric fence and the blade trap, and that's going to run down the durability on the blade trap a lot faster. So I'm going to be powering this just with a battery bank, and of course you could normally just connect it to whatever power source you have. We're also going to be putting in a switch, and you could be using a motion sensor instead so that it's only active if it sees a zombie. That generally can work pretty well. Just make sure you don't fall down and kill yourself because it is quite deadly. Now that we have the switch in, it's time to start just hooking everything together with a wire tool. So we're going to start with connecting the battery bank to the switch. And that just gives you the basic on-off functionality. And I need to turn on the battery as well. After this, we will be connecting the switch to the tripwire on the right side. We'll be connecting that tripwire to the one on the left side. This basically is to fire all the traps. We'll connect that to the electric fence post, which will connect to each other. And now the fence post will be activated if the tripwire is. After this, we'll be connecting the dart traps either from the tripwire or from the fence post itself. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're connecting both on the left side and on the right side as well. Otherwise, obviously, they won't be firing if there's no power. So let's get the last one hooked up as well. And the final thing we want to do is just connecting the blade trap to the tripwire or the fence post on each side, it doesn't matter. And it's essentially already done. If we turn it on and a zombie appears, it will be firing the fence, the darts, and the blades itself. So let's close up here and spawn in a zombie just to showcase it. Let's go into the debug menu and let's get a hole here. And, well, as you see, it kills him really fast. Let's get a slightly different angle and let's get in a burnt one. And, well, he was beheaded almost immediately. So it's actually very powerful. And now we're just going to close up the rest of the trap just to make it look a bit more presentable. And of course you can do this in whatever way you want to. Just make sure you're leaving the tree gap to allow the zombies to fall down. So here I'm just going to make a very simple walls on the right and the left side. After this, I also like to put in some of these hatches, and they're not strictly necessary, but it looks a little bit better, and it also allows you to, well, open or close them depending on how you look at it, so that you can actually pass by with your minibike or something. And now that we're pretty much done, we're just going to spawn in a few different zombies and just see how it looks. So let's get in. Oh, that was fast. Let's get another one. Oh, she wasn't dead. She was just kneecapped. So they'll basically just walk up and fall down and either get beheaded or killed by the fence or the darts. And it's actually pretty fast. Let's get a feral one as well. They can theoretically run across if you are unlucky, but there are ways to resolve that as well. So what we're going to be doing here is just placing some hatches on the side just to block off. And you can do that however you want to. You can place them on the bottom, you can place them on the top, just so that it blocks them from just running across, because sometimes their pathing just doesn't seem to register that there's a hole underneath. And let's get another feral in here. Let's see if they run down. They run down and get killed. Even though it looks like the traps are still a little bit bugged. It does kill them, but keeps them standing. But as you can see, you can just go down here and loot. And looking at the dart traps, you can see that the darts themselves are being used up. So how does it work against the radiated feral cop? So let's spawn one in here, see if we can get him to run down. Yep. As you see, he did get pushed out of position, so he's basically not being hit by the tripwire, so it stops firing everything. And that's the problem I was mentioning about using the pillars, and that can be a little bit irritating. So what we're going to do to mitigate this is basically remove the bottom pillars and place in this half ramps underneath instead, because they're a little bit bigger, so they should be keeping the zombies in the proper position. Let's see if we can spawn in yet another one. Feral cop. Let's see if he'll run down without vomiting at us. Yep. So as you see, he's held in position, he's being hit by the blade, the darts, and the fence. And he gets killed. He's not exploding, which obviously is the way you want to have it. You don't want to have him exploding and damaging the blade trap. Something else to consider is how it deals with crawlers. So they do fall down, but unfortunately the darts miss them. The electric fence will take them, but the darts and the blade trap will not. That means that they will last a lot longer and theoretically could, over time, do a fair bit of damage to your reinforced concrete. Maybe not the normal ones, but if you kneecap some of the construction workers or ferals, they could do a lot more damage. So we're going to be clearing these ones out and replacing the floor with steel spikes. That will help to do additional damage to these crawlers and take care of them a little bit faster. As you see here, he's just crawling. I've turned off the trap, but he is taking damage. Let's see how much that is doing. Well, you can see the durability of the spike is ticking down. And you can hear that he's being injured. And eventually he'll die from it, and if you have the electric fence on, it'll be a fair bit faster. It's always something you have to watch for, because some of the whites, some of the construction workers and so on, do a lot of damage even when they're crawling. And we're just going to fill out some of the blocks on the side just to make it look a little bit better. But it's essentially functional already. With the basics out of the way, I'm sure you can customize it to make a good fit for your base design. Important is just to ensure that you can access the traps, replenish and repair as needed. That's about it. I'll be making some more trap and base builds in the future, but if you have any special requests, do drop me a note in the comment section below and I'll see what I can do.